Hi everyone, welcome back to Scholar Spotlight series. Today in this episode we have a scholar from IISER Kolkata. So hi Swapnamay, I would like to welcome you in this episode of Scholar Spotlight series. So could you please introduce yourself, your institute, your department, the research area you are currently working in, and also what motivated you to pursue a career in research?
Hello Payal and thank you for having me today here. So I am Swapnamay. I am an Integrated Ph.D. scholar at Department of Biological Science, IISER Kolkata. So I am presently in a computational biophysics lab under the supervision of Professor Nilanjana Sengupta. Here we specifically see how different biomolecules like protein, DNA, etc. behave, assemble in different conditions. We also specifically see how they respond to various environments, harsh environments like extreme temperatures and confinement, so that they can be possibly proceeded in therapeutics like things.
Okay, yeah, very great.
So,
yeah, you are really doing scientist stuff now. So, what motivated you to pursue a career in research?
So the thing is, I actually wanted to go beyond the textbook knowledge. So for that, so it was really nice thing to ask how different things work actually, and how new works are being done. So this actually ignited my mind to do research.
Okay, so curiosity is the main driving force for your motivation to pursue
Yes.
research. Yeah, that's great. So, can you shed a bit light towards the selection process for this course? What are the cutoffs? Is there an interview, and is there any additional requirement for the course?
So IISER Kolkata basically accepts two exams: the JAM score, IIT JAM score, and the JGBL score.
Okay.
So yes, there is provision to enter both the marks. I mean both the informations during the application form, and after you are selected, either from both or any one of it, as it's shortlisted, then the candidates are passed through two interviews.
Okay.
The first one is the offline interview, like in-campus interview. The aspirants have to come to the campus and give the interview. And the next one is the online interview. So the result of the first interview generally is published within that day only, and after a week or so, the second interview is done, and it takes around 2 weeks to get the results published.
Okay. Thank you for explaining the procedure in detail. Can you tell me a little bit idea regarding the cutoffs, like up to which rank they call for the interview, or like shortlist from IIT JAM bucket or JEE-Bills? What do you think?
The thing is, the cutoff is not officially mentioned here.
Yeah.
But it is expected that maybe the cutoff is around 150 or so for JAM.
Okay.
And for JGBs it is not known.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So you appeared for IIT JAM as well as JEE-Bills, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So can you share your personal preparation strategy? How did you prepare for the IIT JAM and the JEE-Bills? Which resources particularly you followed? Did you solve all the previous year questions? Any other tips like whether to solve mock tests or not? What helped you as a person to succeed in these exams and finally bagging a position in IISER Kolkata?
Yes. So as a preparation strategy, I think solving the PYQs is very important, because it gives a brief idea about the exam pattern, and then I think that we have to select one or two resources and we have to cover it fully. like I used to study Pathfinder Life Science book,
Okay.
and I was also enrolled in Physics Wala online course,
Okay.
and after all the exams were done, when we are going through the preparations of interviews, so I still remember that your interview collection was so helpful at that time.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad it helped.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
we sat for a mock interview as well.
I used to practice them before the interviews, and that helped me a lot.
Okay. I'm glad that those resources helped you. So let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about time management. How did you manage time? Because you didn't take a drop or anything, no? Like parallelly with the college you were preparing. So how did you manage time and eventually scoring this grade and becoming a motivation for the future aspirants? So we would be glad if you could share your time management tactics.
Okay, so I had a bachelor's in microbiology, so we had the long classes from morning 10 to around 6 p.m. and then we used to prepare for and after that the night part I used to prepare for the competitives actually. So, and we have to manage, right? Like the physics chemistry part is basically challenging for the bio students because we have to manage both the courses, yes, for both the semester part and as well as we have to do it for from the competitive perspective also.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was very hectic for you at that time, but your hard work eventually
Yes.
paid off. Yeah, that's inspiring, Swapnamay. So now, as you mentioned, there were 2 interview rounds. So could you tell in brief a bit about your interview experience? What all they expect in the interview from the aspirants? And also, if you remember any actual interview questions, you can tell us in very brief.
Yes, so I have actually noted some of the interview questions as far as I remember.
Okay.
So at first they asked me like what are my interests. So I said like I'm a microbiology, molecular biology. So they started asking like first of all draw a growth curve, bacterial growth curve, and and then they gave a related bacterial growth curve related numericals. Okay. So I have to solve it on the blackboard. So next, I remember that they asked me to compare it at the industrial scale.
Okay.
Suppose how will the growth curve change from the normal lab grown growth curve and compared to the industrial growth curve.
Okay.
They also asked me if I had a bachelor's research project, and then they asked some details, how I did this and that things. They also they also asked some questions on buffer, like from the chemistry perspective.
Okay.
Buffer, the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, they told me to write on the blackboard. Also, the questions slightly shifted to the biostatistics, where they started asking me to write the equation of Gaussian distribution, and they also asked some questions on how the population distribution shapes, giving some examples on. I remember they were giving some examples on trees and leaves. Maybe the questions were getting revealed, and in this way I was directed.
Okay. That's great. Thank you.
And
Okay.
yes,
You remember some more questions? You can share.
yes, I will share.
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and next also, yes, they asked some questions on genetics, like what is the molecular mechanism of incomplete dominance.
Okay.
and like as far as remember, these were the questions.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing like interview experience as well as actual interview questions. You actually have made like a lot of efforts in writing down, remembering those questions. Thank you so much for sharing in this podcast, because it will be really helpful for the people who are watching it and who are going to like appear for the interview this year. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the institute's
Yes, absolutely.
academics. Yeah. So how are the labs there? When once you enroll in the course, how it looks like to be in the campus? How many
Okay.
classes
So
are there?
there are
Courses?
actually
Yeah.
yes. So in the Department of Biological Science, there are labs of various domains and subdomains, from ecological labs to microbiological labs to even computational biological labs. Okay. So we in the first semester we had to undergo through three lab rotations, and then we can select one lab and can continue our masters and PhD both from there.
Okay.
And as you were asking about my campus experience, so it is quite green. Like the campus is fully green and very near to nature. So and there are many seasonal flowers also. So at times, in the springtime, the whole campus got bloomed with many flowers. It was looking so nice. The vibe was completely changed then.
Okay. So you're currently in colorful phase of IISER Kolkata. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. So, like, if you have to give like top 3 tips for the future aspirants, what it would be? Like regarding like choosing lab in the institute after they like join the campus, or maybe in the preparation phase, or maybe in the interview phase. What top 3 tips you would like to give to future aspirants?
So I would suggest that in terms of selection of like suppose an aspirant has got 2 or 3 institutes, but I would suggest that he or she should first see which lab mostly interests him or her, like what works he actually wants to do, and on the basis of that, one should select the institute and then finally go to the lab. And secondly, regarding the preparation tip, I would suggest that preparation should start a little earlier, likely from the second year of bachelor's. Then it would be less hectic and it will be helpful and fruitful at the end.
Yeah, true. And the final tip, maybe about the
So
interview
I
or
would like
whatever you feel.
yes. So I would like to end with a quote like, never reach your equilibrium constant.
Yeah, great. So, thank you so much, Swapnamay, for giving us your precious time. We are fortunate to have you or host you in this podcast. So, thank you so much. Wishing you a great career ahead.